Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the premiere episode of Larson's Lair. That's right, we are live here. And ladies and gentlemen, you are checking us out at the website at Josh.L. And what a night we have for you here tonight on this debut episode, ladies and gentlemen, of this show. In the future, this show will bring you all kinds of great action. We are going to be bringing you in-depth, never-before-seen interviews. We're going to be bringing you clips of the past. We're going to bring you a little bit of everything on this show. Tonight's episode, our first episode, we're going to travel back 12 years ago to September 28th, 2003. At the time, the Vulture, I'm no longer the Vulture. Now I, of course, am your host, big time Jimmy Larson. But the Vulture was part of R&W Promotions at the time. And we presented a show in association with Xbaku Productions called 140 Ages. And at that show, I had the honor of booking a match which took place, a boxing match scheduled for 12 rounds between Boxing Joe Grizzly and the Fortified Hooligan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, we present to you that match in its entirety right here on Larson's Lair with brand spanking new commentary from me. And we'll be back after, ladies and gentlemen, with a special interview segment. My buddy C.T. Bishop from Tuesday Night Tussle is here, and he's going to ask a series of questions that he's prepared. I don't know the questions, but he's prepared some questions, and he's going to ask them to me, and I'm going to answer them right here on the show for you tonight. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back and take a look at this clip from September 28th, 2003. It's Boxing Joe Grizzly versus the Fortified Hooligan at R&W Promotions, 140 Ages. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are set for our special attraction match of the night. Here we see the Fortified Hooligan making his way to the ring at this time with his trainer.
He's gonna do this!
You hear him, he just said he's ready, and the Fortified Hooligan, he looks ready. Throwing some fists to the camera, and look at this. He has some words with our capacity crowd here on hand. They are arguing a little bit with the crowd as the Fortified Hooligan has been in the gym every day lately getting prepared for this match. As there you see he's fixing his boots, and he looks to be in great shape for this match. He's prepared to step into the ring for what is sure to be the toughest fight of his entire career. And here what do we got going on here? We got a little argument going on here between the Fortified Hooligan and his trainer and some of the crowd here as we are live in Danbury, Connecticut, ladies and gentlemen, at the historic Bill Williams Gym. And we almost got a double our money's worth, as we almost got a fight between the fans, and they're still arguing with the fans here at the Bill Williams Gym, having some words with with this capacity crowd on hand here in Danbury. We're jam-packed. The Fortified Hooligan, definitely looks ready for this fight. As we said, ladies and gentlemen, this is a special attraction boxing match here at the R&W Promotions. This is R&W Promotions' 1-year anniversary show. This is 140 Ages. And here we go. The opponent now making his way to the ring. Here he comes from the local zoo, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. The one, the only, Boxing Joe Grizzly. And he looks ready. Look at him. He is a sight to see, ladies and gentlemen. There he is with his boxing gloves on. He is ready for a fight. We are about to see a crazy brawl here. And what is going on here? Oh, look at this. a fan. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Boxing Joe Grizzly. He sure can be a friendly guy. He just gave a hug to one of our fans here in attendance at the Bill Williams Gym, and one of our members of the R&W crew making his way to the ring here to help the bear into the ring. You know, that bear is ready. He's usually folks confined to a cage. This is not a cage match. He's in a ring. And as we said, he can be a friendly bear, but he can also be aggressive. And we're about to see that. There you can see he is taunting the fortified hooligan as they prepare here for the bell to sound to kick off round one. And there you go. We have got a bear chant, ladies and gentlemen. This crowd here in Denver is chanting bear for Boxing Joe Grizzly. And once again, Boxing Joe Grizzly taunting fortified hooligan. And this is not exactly fair, but the fortified hooligan's trainer is going to act as our referee of this competition, as all of our normal referees are scared to get in that ring with the bear. And here we go. Round one has begun. We are set, ladies and gentlemen, for 12 rounds of boxing. And I'm not sure if this is going to go 12 rounds, though, because Boxing Joe Grizzly, ladies and gentlemen, theoretically is going to knock the fortified hooligan out very quickly. Once these two go at it, they're sizing each other up. You see the hooligan right there. Oh! Boxing Joe Grizzly lands a left, sends the hooligan into the corner, and the hooligan complaining to the referee about having his hair pulled there. As he comes in, oh, look at those. A couple of jabs there to the stomach and to the head. Boxing Joe Grizzly misses the left and catches him again with a huge left, taking the hooligan into the ropes. And again, misses the left, and now some jabs, and we got some jabs going back and forth. Oh, another big left right into the head of the hooligan. And oh, a clothesline. What? Wait a minute. What? Whippersnapper! Are you kidding me? The Boxing Joe Grizzly, it's Mikey Whipwreck. It's the ECW legend, ladies and gentlemen, the ECW icon, ECW original Mikey Whipwreck was Boxing Joe Grizzly all along. He just took out the hooligan. This is definitely a disqualification. Wait a minute. We have, and there, you just heard Jay Busta, ladies and gentlemen, just challenged Mikey Whipwreck to join his match later on tonight. Mikey Whipwreck, we got a match scheduled for later on tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Busta will be in a match against Spider and Luis Ortiz. And oh, Mikey Whipwreck with another whippersnapper on the referee. Mikey is out of control, and it looks like he will be in action again later on. Thanks for joining us here on this match, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, now you've seen the match that I was just talking about, and one of the segments that I plan on having here on Larson's Lair on each of our episodes is going to be an in-depth interview with some stars, celebrities, about certain subjects, and I figure what better way to start this off than to answer a few questions, since the match you just saw was so controversial over the years, and there's so many questions that came up. So my buddy from TNT, from Tuesday Night Tussle, CT Bishop, has prepared a few questions for me, and I'm going to answer those questions for you right here for the first time ever, right here on Larson's Lair. So, CT Bishop, go ahead and ask away.
All right, big time. So I just want to know, so you booked that match, correct?
Yes, I did. It was not 100% my idea, but yeah, pretty much.
So how did that idea come to mind?
Well, actually, at the time, I was reading Freddie Blassie's autobiography, Listen Up You Pencil Neck Geeks, I believe it was called. And he talked about, in the early days of his career, wrestling at carnivals. And he wrestled a bear inside of a cage at the carnival. And I was traveling with the great Snake Birdie, and we were traveling away from a show in New Jersey, and I brought up to him the story, and he said, "Wouldn't it be great if we got a bear to be at a show?" I said, "I don't think we can do that anymore." And then I went, "Wait a minute, though. What if we did book a bear? We promoted it as a bear, but we had somebody inside the bear costume, but we wouldn't tell people that. We'll just promote it that it's a bear, and then we'll have somebody in a costume." And I'm like, "But it's got to be something great." And then I said, "What? How about instead of a wrestling bear, what about a boxing bear?" And then the name just kind of popped into my head. I was like, Boxing Joe Grizzly. And that's where that came from. And then I came up with this whole concept for Mikey Whipwreck. I remembered in ECW, Mikey being involved in a Santa Claus angle, and I was like, you know what? Mikey Whipwreck being inside that bear would just be huge when people see that he's the guy inside the bear costume. It would just go over really well. As you heard, it did, because the crowd was going nuts chanting Mikey, as you heard in the video.
Wow. So, I mean, Mikey was so thrilled when he arrived that night and learned what you had planned for him. Is that right?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, it's another funny story. But, Snake Brody was the one in charge of getting the bear costume. And the rental place he got it from, I don't know where he rented it from, but that suit, I seen it when it came in even, it smelled horrible. I mean, a terrible stench. And Mikey was not thrilled at all. No. When he saw the costume, he just flipped out, and of course, because of the smell. And interestingly enough, when he was getting in the ring with our R&W handler, Brian, who was helping him in the ring, he whispered to Brian. Brian told us later on that he had whispered to him, "Get me out of here, please, just get me out of here." So Mikey couldn't be more thrilled. And if you actually watch that video back and pay close attention to when Mikey gets the suit off, he's kind of holding his breath because he didn't want to smell it any further. So yeah, that's how Mikey felt about it. And apparently, Mikey did a podcast, and they asked him what the worst moment of his career was, and you think he'd mention like the injury in WCW or something like that. And no, he actually mentioned being inside a bear costume at an independent show, or so I'm told. So that's kind of cool to me. That, you know, even though he hates it, it's kind of cool that he remembers it, and then it became a big deal. So
Yeah. I mean, looking back on it now, I mean, how do you feel about it? I mean, do you have any regrets at all?
looking back on it now, no, I don't have regrets on it, honestly. I still think it was a good idea. The audience, they were into it. They chanted beer. I know it was a huge discussion on the internet at the time, with people bad-mouthing the show, bad-mouthing the idea, just ripping it apart. But you know, everything in life has critics. People aren't going to like everything. And I don't listen to the people who complain because they weren't there. They didn't see it. And the ones who were there, they really enjoyed it. It was a really fun night. It was a fun idea, and it really worked exactly how I hoped it would. So I was definitely pleased with it. And no, I don't have any regrets that I did that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, finally, will we ever see Boxing Joe Grizzly again?
You know, I've actually been asked this question before, and I don't know. They say in the wrestling business you never say never. I don't think it's likely that you'll ever see Boxing Joe Grizzly at an event again, but never say never. It could happen. It might happen. Who knows? We definitely learned from the mistakes as far as getting a better bear costume that won't smell, making sure that whatever happens with it, person involved knows about it. It wouldn't be the same to do Mikey Whipwreck in there. First of all, I doubt he would ever agree to that again, but it wouldn't be a surprise. So, will you ever see Boxing Joe Grizzly again? I don't know. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes, but I'm just happy that here we are 12 years later, and people are still talking about it. And that just shows how big a deal it is. So,
Awesome.
thank you, CT Bishop, for providing me these questions, and to all of my audience out there for Larson's Lair. I can't wait to bring you the next interview. Not sure who it's going to be just yet, but we're working on some names. We're working on some contracts right now, and we are going to be bringing you some great interviews. And I I tell you all, if you want to go to Josh.0, the website, it's josh.0.tk, as you see on the screen, and go to the contact area and let us know any questions when we start announcing who we're going to be having on the show. You can submit your questions to us, and we will ask them to them, and you can tune in and see your questions being asked and get the answers that you've always wanted to know. So make sure that you pay attention to the website over the next couple of months and whenever, because that's going to be going on. And yes, we want to be interactive with our audience. We want to reach out to you. So for now, this is Big Time Jimmy Larson, CT Bishop, and we want to thank you for tuning in this week to Larson's Lair, and we will see you next time. So long.